Friday, June the 15th, and this is your Barbados Today evening news update. So glad you could join us. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. I'm sorry. Today, former Senator and member of the Democratic Labour Party, Reverend David Durant, apologized to the country for his party's behavior leading up to the massive defeat in the May 24th general election. A visibly upset Durant told supporters attending the weekly Asked to Be What's lunchtime lecture at the DLP George Street headquarters that the party's leadership should also say sorry. An emotional Reverend Durant attributed the DLP's 30-0 drubbing to the grim messages emerging from its platforms, which he said included verbal abuse, character assassination, arrogance, and its failure to communicate effectively with voters.
We must communicate with the people. Sadly, this was the Achilles heel in the camp of the Democratic Labour Party. It became an albatross around the neck of the DLP's leadership. The party's leadership became very distant from the people, and you really cannot isolate yourself from the population, the various interest groups, stakeholders, and still maintain popularity. This never happened, and it will never happen. Also, the party was not listening to the people. There were many red flags being waved, but they were ignored. I'm sure the party have learned also never to take the electorate for granted.
The former government senator added that the time has come for healing and forgiveness. He said the DLP must start to regroup, rebrand, rebuild, and rebound. In other news, operations at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital are in line for a major overhaul in an effort to improve the delivery of health care services. Today, Health and Wellness Minister Jeffrey Bostic announced that the proposed $11 million plant and equipment upgrade to the Accident and Emergency Department announced during Monday's budget was simply not enough. After touring the department this morning, he told reporters there will also be changes to the internal processes in a bid to fix lingering problems at the facility.
It has to do with providing the best possible service to the citizens of Barbados in as short a space of time as possible. And there's some timelines that have been established for achieving certain things that we have not been able to satisfy. And we have to work towards those objectives. Because at the end of the day, if we spend money to expand services at accident and emergency, if we provide the hospital with much needed funds as we are doing, then we must satisfy the Barbadian public that the money is going to be well spent. And the only way that we are going to achieve that is to ensure that we have patient satisfaction at the end of the day.
The Barbados Water Authority is ramping up its efforts to ensure that businesses and residents on the South Coast properly dispose of fats and greases so as not to worsen the long-running sewage spill. This morning, officials from the BWA inspected manholes and grease traps at food establishments to ensure compliance, as well as to give business owners pointers on how to improve their setup. According to Health and Safety Officer Grafton Best, despite the fact that the education thrust is more than a year old, significant amounts of grease is still being found in the system.
Given the challenges with fats, oil, and grease within the sewer system, we have had tremendous problems with the quantity of grease in the system that the Barbados Water Authority now needs to eliminate from the system. In order to do this, we did commence a program to rid the manholes of the quantity of grease that was coming into the main sewer line. We did that, and now that we have the injection wells into operation at the plant, we discovered that there is still further grease that has to come out of the system.
Residents in Lower Applewitz, St. George are appealing for help to deal with an overbearing stench coming from a pig farm in the community. Residents say the near 15-year-old problem has now become a health hazard and they are even more concerned that the owner of the farm, Gregory Ford, is about to erect a second one in the community. When Barbados Today visited the area, residents declared that enough was enough.
We can't open our windows, our doors, because of the consistent smell coming non-stop. And as you can know, you actually smell the odors too. So that's what we have to deal with day in, day out. My sinuses drip continuously. I'm taking medication, it's not helping because of the continuous dripping the smell coming at you morning, noon, and night.
I can't open my back windows, and it's affect me every day. Right now my sinuses is really up in a mess, and on top of that, the putting your hand in your clothes inside. I can't have my clothes outside. The smell is on the clothes. Not only it affect me up here, but when the scent go down, and then the other farm down there, even people come down in the bus will tell you that they're smelling. But you can ask any bus driver from Transport Board or any of the minibus drivers that come down here will talk about the van, and they will tell you people come up inside the van and the bus and they're complaining about the smell. How you all can manage to stand in here with that smell? And it's ridiculous.
My sinuses right now that hurt me. Like when I Sunday, I can't open my nose. The scent overbearing, so it's ridiculous to put it right there to affect everybody. You got one in the middle and you can't put one there. And again, somebody want to do what they gotta do, but that is stupidity, isn't it? And maybe grandson had back in the hospital 2 weeks to go through his breathing. So you gotta get something to do with it. It's not hygienic. The health people saying that you gotta concern for your health, so you gotta be concerned for your health.
Very, very frustrating. For a couple of years now, we have been enduring it. It first started when, and it was small. We didn't pay any money because it was a small thing. Everybody looking to improve themselves and everything like that. But then we started again, this stench and foul smell and thing. But it really frustrating. When you gotta spend money at the doctor, especially for me, for a child, for allergies, sinuses.
Ford, however, told Barbados Today he cleans his pig farm. He admitted that while there is an odor, he ensures that it is not offensive to his neighbors. The Barbados Workers Union says it's not thrilled with the taxes outlined in the government's budget, but it's prepared to make the sacrifice. At a meeting last night at the union's Solidarity House headquarters, General Secretary Tony Moore told reporters her members understand it's what the country needs right now. And she's happy that though workers will have to pull more from their pockets, they will be able to keep their jobs.
Although we are not, our membership generally does not seem to be overjoyed at the doses that have been proposed. There is a certain understanding regarding the need for the measures to be taken at this time and support for the positions or the stance that we have been taken on their behalf up until now.
In sports, Cricket West Indies today announced that Kemar Roach became the 13th Windies bowler to reach 150 test wickets, joining legends like Courtney Walsh, Curtly Ambrose, Michael Holden, and Malcolm Marshall, among others. Roach said he was honored to join the elite group and is looking forward to continue playing and taking wickets for the Windies. The Windies are currently playing a 3-match test series against Sri Lanka and will next host Bangladesh in 2 test matches, 3 one-day internationals and 3 2020 internationals from July 4 to August 5th.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back with news from the region now. Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is set to meet with the country's top security officials to discuss mounting crime. The talks come at the height of an ongoing turf war in Laventille between the so-called Rasta City and Muslim groups.
And according to Minister Edmund Dillon, the guilty parties are the Rasta City and Muslim gangs.
The whole issue revealed itself that there's retaliation between one gang to the next, claiming territories that don't belong to themselves. When questioned some of the young men in the area as to what is the reason for this, none of them can give you a reason whatsoever. So there's a lot of senseless killing taking place in our country.
And on the international front, the world's two biggest economies are now at war over trade. China accused the United States of firing the first shot today when the White House said it would impose tariffs on 25% on $50 billion worth of Chinese goods. More in this report from Reuters Television.
An escalation in the trade dispute with China. President Trump, in a statement Friday, said the U.S. will implement a 25% tariff on $50 billion of goods from China related to intellectual property and technology. He also pledged to impose further levies if the Asian nation takes retaliatory measures. China immediately vowed to retaliate. The country's commerce ministry said the measures harm the interests of both countries and disrupt world trade order. Beijing has published its own list of threatened tariffs on $50 billion of U.S. goods, including soybeans, aircraft, and autos. Trump said the tariff list includes goods from China's Made in China 2025 strategic plan to dominate high-technology industries that will, quote, drive future economic growth for China, but hurt economic growth for the United States and many other countries.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic weekend.